All right, so just got to make sure that these levels are all good to go. Yeah, all right. Cool. So, hope you all can hear me okay. If I can turn myself up a little bit. All right, that should help a little bit. So tonight, not doing the typical kind of thing we do on these streams, but I'm going to be, first of all, having an awkward camera angle. You are currently in my vent hood, so I'm going to be doing some soldering tonight. I just got these nifty little prototype boards, and I'm going to start to get some practice. I really want to get some soldering practice in and call it a skill that I have, so I have a whole bunch of these. So we got a whole kit, whole pack of these, and we got a whole bunch of these. So these are little terminal pins, and so here you can see these are like little pins that we see on the microcontrollers that we're used to playing around with. So what my goal is tonight is I want to make basically like a prototype board for Arduino Pro Micros. So I'm going to take a card like this and I'm going to solder on some of these pin headers and use that for doing some prototype work with these Arduino Pro Micros that I have. So eventually I'll need to solder on some of the pin headers for the Pro Micros themselves so that they can sync into these single row pin header socket connectors. So eventually they need to be able to sync into these things. You know, I have to figure out which one I need to use and all that jazz, but I feel like once I have this, I'll be this skill down, I'll be a little bit better off with my electronic skills. So those are some of the things I'm doing. There's some other things that I'm testing as well. I wish my headphones were a little longer. I'll sit closer. So I keep looking over here because that's where I have my screen. It's really hard not to look at that and actually look at the camera. I'm also testing this contraption that I'm using for my soldering iron. So I'm using this deal here. So this is a 5-volt connector that pulls off of my DeWalt drill batteries. So I'll be able to hook this up into here. I can see that I have battery. See the blue lights. Then this end plugs into my soldering iron here, so I'm going to be testing that as well. I have a nice little low voltage soldering iron here that I'm going to be taking out of the package. I have 2 of these, so one of them is currently in my truck toolbox. That's where I do a lot of projects, is just on the go. So this is going to be my at-home electronics kit one. So yeah, we're testing a bunch of stuff today. Sorry about all the weird camera angles. I just like, the room's a little too messy to have good camera angles, so we're having bad camera angles for today. But that was better than cleaning, so what do you do, right? Here's the new soldering iron. This is the lower voltage version. There's also like a 65 watt version. This is just a 5 volt 8 watt. There's like a 67. Hey there, Chef Rex. There's a 67 version, watt version one that Adam Savage really likes, but this is the cheaper one that also has some decent reviews. So, Chef Rex, we're soldering tonight. We're learning how to solder. Learning how to solder good. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not entirely that confident about it, if I'm being honest. Already there's too many things in my little vent hood here. So we gotta remove some of this. So we're still experimenting with this new solder. Yeah, that's a regional thing, right? There's I think he's Scottish, a Scottish electronics guy that I like to watch, and he does pronounce the L's. You pronounce the L's in the great land of Canada? This thing is jacked up. Solder. Gotcha. This is my jacked up from being in my truck toolbox. It's all messed up. I almost couldn't find this, and then I was like, what the hell am I going to stream about if I couldn't find that? So first step really is to see if this soldering iron can heat up. Don't know that it can. So let's see. Looks like the light turns on. Not touching my finger to it, I'm just kind of feeling around it. Ooh, she's getting warm. All right, cool. Good news. So you'll have to tell me how loud this is for you. It might be quite loud. This is just a vent hood that I have for miniature painting. Perfect. That's great. Yikes. That sounds like that hurt. Lord. Sounds like a fast food burn almost. Let's see. I think I gotta get this. Alright. Dang. That is no fun. So here are the Pro Micros. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is that Wilder? I'll have to give her my best. Oh. I'm just doing some soldering today. Golf has a better evening. So what I'm going to do is, my plan for tonight, I'm not going to, if I do anything with the Pro Micro, actually, it's going to be after I practice a bunch. Other stuff doesn't matter much. So what do I keep this, you think? I don't know if I really need to keep this. It's kind of obvious here. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to solder in these and get used to soldering at these things, because you know what, if I melt them, super doesn't matter. But I kind of want to wait and do this last, do this solder job last, so that if I am bad at it, hopefully by the time I get to this point, I'm not so bad at it. Sorry about the camera. So I'm going to set this back in the static proof bag and set it aside. Then I'm going to see if I have socket with the right number of pins. Yep, so, oh come on camera, buddy. Yeah, I mean I've done it before. I've done stuff like with automotive, and soldered a bit, but never with circuit boards. So that's the thing to get used to here. So it's these. This should be. Let's see. is a circuit board device that Zenhaber 3D printed for me. This is a whole another project that we'll do later once I'm good at this. So oh my gosh, I'm just like swapping stuff around. I clearly don't have enough room. All the things that I want to do here. So I want to pick out which board I want to use. So there's this size. These black ones look nice. There's a whole bunch of these. Maybe I'll use this one for the project. Good size. There could be some weird ghost echo, I'm not sure. I also have a fan on. Is this, does that help with a ghost echo or not? By turning that off? There's a whole bunch of those. That's kind of, I thought that might do that. I'm not soldering quite yet, so I'm going to hold off on that fan for a few minutes. Okay, so I have these ones are kind of cool. These are some nice, like, little long components. Not sure what I'll use these for, but these. I think I'm gonna go with the black ones. I think those are gonna fit the best. I only have 2 of these big boys down here. Hey there, Money Buns. I do hope everyone's enjoying this very awkward camera angle. The room that I'm doing this in, it could be cleaner. I could have spent some time cleaning it, but I had other stuff to do today, so like, never happened, you know? You know how that goes. So, just gonna have a weird camera angle for the day. All right, so I'm gonna use this one. I think this is the right size for what I want. So, the project that I want to do is something that I think will help me do other stuff later. And so I'm going to basically turn this little Pro Micro board into more or less something I can use as a regular Arduino. So I'm going to stick this here, and then I'm going to have these double-sided male ones soldered to this, so this can sync into this board, and then I'm going to connect all of these pins here, all of these pins, to another header like this, maybe 1 or 2 pins away, and that's going to allow me to use this as a pin out so that I can stick other devices and stuff into it kind of on the fly to test different things out, so then I can hook this directly to like a breadboard or something. And so use 2 more of these. We got 4 of these total. So 2 of these are going to be for the Arduino, and 2 of these are going to be for the other bit, for the pinouts. And it's a little tempting. What do we have? So I do need this map. So what are these? 20 pin. So, okay, yeah, I'm gonna use 4 of the 12 pins, I think. How's the music level, gang? Nice. This is the device that Zenhaber made for me. Very nice. Seems to work quite well. So this thing, make sure that these are the same size. I am having a great time with this music, by the way. I do really enjoy it. I'm glad that I have headphones in this time so that I can listen along with you all. So, kind of wondering how I want to do this. If I should do this towards the center or off to the side. I think I'll do center. So I'm going to do the pinouts, I think one away. So there's one gap there. Actually, I should probably do it. Yeah, I should do it right next to it. That makes the most sense. And these boards are nice. It's probably really hard to tell. Oh, cool. Got some use out of your baffins yesterday for a bonfire. Pleased as punch, very comfy. That is excellent. Baffins, as some of you may know, are the new winter boots that V.E. Kruger has. So you can kind of see it right there. These are marked with letters and numbers for the coordinates for each of these. So I'm going to make sure to start at least at the 0, 1. Although I'm going to opt for being in the center of this board, as opposed to off to his side, I think. Are the baffins as good as baff out? Well, that's a great question. I don't think baff outs are legal here, Chef Rex. We'd have to get a permit to use those. First in, baff out. Okay, so this is what I want to do. So I'm going to put those in there, and then when I stick the male-to-male pins on this, it will sink into this spot right here. And I can put jumper wires in along these sides for breadboard action. Now, do y'all think I should do this centered like this, or should I do it off in the on A, start an A over on that side? I might use this one instead. So this one fits this a little bit better. I think might be a little bit nicer to work with, maybe? The socialist state of Trudeau land. Sounds like utopia. Oh, politics. Dang it anyway. I think this will work. I'm going to stick to that plan. Okay, so I don't really know how to do this next step. I think I should do just one row at a time. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just freaking tape these down, kind of as is with some painter's tape, and then flip it over and then do my soldering. So I'm going to try to not pull on any cables as I move a little bit. Okay. Really. I'm going to try and make sure that these are lined up fairly square. Got a pair of my Chinese shears here. Trim off the excess tape. I don't know how other people would do this, but this seems to make some sense to me, so. I think. Let's see. Is there enough light in here, you think? Or is it a little hard to see? Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit on the screen. You can see a little more closely. I know the focus is being a little strange too. Really have a lot of extra light. There we go, that helps. Cool. So you can see the pinouts there. Now is soldering time, and I apologize about the ghost echo you're all going to be hearing. I want to char my lungs too bad with solder, so... Back in your safety bag. So I should be pretty good at this. I've watched exactly 2 YouTube videos. So that's good enough to like keep most of it. So it should be fine. Good. All right. While this is warming up, I'll just show any people who just joined. I'm running all of this off of my DeWalt battery. So this is a 5-volt soldering iron hooked up to this. This is a 20-volt max battery, but it has an output via USB for 5 volts, which is pretty cool. So one of my qualifiers requirements for my soldering setup is that it had to be portable. I'm gonna need to get my magnifying glass out. This is working remarkably well for a $12 soldering iron. My immense concentration phase is great. Oof, that. That was a lot. So I'm really happy with that soldering iron because it heated up really fast. Let's see, these are all these different things. I can't see very well. This is like too fine of work for zoom level. Apologize. Just put a drop on the tip and you cool it down. Really. Should bring my other mag light back up. It's many studio. I might just have to put it closer to my face. A couple I'll need to redo, but in general, that's not terrible. Like, some of these look pretty good. And importantly, none of them are touching each other, which is ideal. So I'm gonna do a few more drops on some of these. A drop on the tip of the cool. Why is that? Mr. Chef Rex. Dangerously close to being connected. Leave the soldering iron for a little longer to leave it. Time to heat up all the metal just a bit more. You'll see the solder flow into the gap and leave a nice play. Good for life of the tip, soldering iron. Okay, got it. Kind of hard to tell. Let me get this out of here. Probably don't need the tape anymore. Feel pretty solid. They kind of like lifted up a little bit though. Bit of a gap here. So right there, where I didn't quite get it seated very closely. But we're in business. Cool. Let's do the next row. Now, have you ever worked with these kinds of circuit boards, Chef Rex? I'm wondering if I should get a piece of wire actually to connect these, or just solder jump them. Probably just solder jump them. I think that's what I've seen. Just hatch up the wires. Even across this gap here, between these two. Ones with the I don't know. And I'm digging this synth synth station today. This circuit board device is really nice. I have to thank Zenhaver for it later. Yeah, probably a good juxtaposition. All right, let's see how close I can get. There we go. Sorry, my hand's kind of in the way. You're definitely getting better. This round is definitely looking a lot nicer than my last ones. Yeah, it's looking nice. Second row is already, yeah, I kind of thought so too. So now I'm going to try and join the first and second rows. Tapping in pretty nicely. Retail, I'm going to run a solder probably by the end of the night. Soon thereafter. looking a little sloppy. Not connected. Get little dangers on the hearing. Probably should listen to Chef Rex about this. Heat up these pins just a little bit before I get to this.
To find all by design, feeling all this power, reckless and devour.
To the cone of the tip. Add a portion in the cone where its diameter is seated on as much of the leg taken through as possible, that way you get the most heat transfer possible. And then I introduce the solder and the cone. That makes sense. Yeah, I've got to get a little bit better at this. I think a big part of my problem right now is I can't see very well. I usually have a better mag light situation, but the articulating arm on my mag light is really not working so good. So. You give me advice though, Chef Rex. Much appreciated. If I don't run too low on solder, I might just do this whole thing. The whole point of tonight is really practice.
To find
Smokies in front of the camera there. Alright, so how do we do? Probably going to be my best microscope anyway. Come on, baby. That looks alright. There's a couple of those look a little danger zony, but I think it's okay. This one, it's hard to tell on camera, but I think that's just flux, so I think these are all connected pretty well. Yeah, I need a little bit more in a couple of these. Might just even be just. What I should have done is I should have clipped the pins with a flush cutter. Or after I did the initial solder. Yeah, I think this is pretty alright. And I'm not feeling very afraid of like a single pin thing. So putting these other pins on this Pro Micro should be okay. These things didn't melt in the process, so this is looking good. I wonder what the best way is to label this. Should have grabbed my electrometer, multimeter thing to test all these. Thought of it smart for continuity.
Target acquired. Target acquired.
Today's episode is just watch Grant squint at stuff. Okay. So, Pro Micro. Just wanted to verify which side goes down. So, let's go up here. Even with this thing, you know what might just do? I might just set this on this. Actually, I'm going to stick it in the in my board here. Like ever so slightly off as to how this is seated. Oh, let's see. It's not wanting to go in there. So, yeah, this is like raised up a little bit here. Spot. I think that's preventing this from seating right. So I should have had this in there. Seat properly. So, sheet. Maybe bend them in slightly. Got it? It's good? Oh, nice. Okay, so I got this on here. Now, to solder this thing on. Get up a little bit again. I wish I didn't have these like daisy chains. How are you today, Chef Rex? How are your projects going? Haven't seen you on stream for a couple of days. You don't typically do VODs, do you? Alright, so here's a big question. Should we have the USB port facing this way or facing this way? So, this way or this way? Feeling like this way, how it is currently, just because then it stays more within the board, I guess. So let's do this. It's like digging it. Wish it wasn't so twisted, because it's going to make getting to these. No, it's not. But I think for a first time, this is okay. So, they're all connecting down here. I don't know how I'm going to test this, but well, this Arduino, this is the big test. Actually, yeah, all right. So this is looking pretty sharp, albeit a little twisty. See if I can seat it the other way. Ooh, yeah, this is like not super square. So I think that's a good lesson for me, is just trying to get these things a little more square. Square it up. I can seat it and reseat it the other way. Let's see. Groovy. I'm excited. Let's rinse this off. Oh, okay. So, actually, I think I might be comfortable to work on this board. Here. Actually, solder in. I do the 12-pin connectors on this. I think that should go quite well. Do the same kind of thing, but this time I'm going to actually use I'm going to stick a Pro Micro in here to kind of get the mic a little better. This is going to eventually be. I'm going to have the one so I can remove it if I want to change out. Yeah, so that's how it's going to be eventually. Get that rolling. Oh, something I did want to test. Play with a little bit later. Is I have spare keyboard switch here. And so I was going to practice soldering these in place. It's like, I can't do this on just a standard board because of this center deal. So I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to practice this one as much, but I'll get more practice with other stuff first. So, got my prototype board. So the next thing I want to do is talk about these. So I got some of these. These are going to be the main bit for my greenhouse setup. So this is I have a pack of 10 of these. These are relay switches. So you apply the proper 5 volts in here, and this will allow me to control it. Ideally. So we'll see. I need to, of course, get some of the rest of my circuitry done, but eventually I'll be playing with these. So, set you aside. Get some more of these 12-pin connectors. This time. going to grab practice with a couple of these, you know. Nice. Stick it in place again. Put the 12 in. So my goal the second time is to really try and get stuff to be more squared up. What the best way to do that is. Or really any way to do that. So take these in the wrong way just for a minute. I think this should give me a pretty good guideline. Maybe with all the stuff in place, everything will be a little more square. It's good. It's all this. So this is going to eventually be a gift from a friend. Get everything nice and snug. So straight down. Put the stuff in place. Not sideways. So this board is, like I said, it's a gift for a friend of mine. And it is a macro keyboard. So I have a bunch of these leftover switches from the keyboard that was a hot swappable that the rest of the guts died. So I have a whole crap load of these. But this board is this PCB by Ryan Bates. I have if you look at the Twitter account that I linked to in this channel weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, I posted about this board. I got this board for like $2. It's like $2.25 or something, and it's going to be an Arduino powered macro keyboard. So I can stick these MX keys in here and some keycaps, and then these can be mapped to various commands or macros. So he does a lot of content management work. So he hits copy paste all day, every day, and wanted a way to make that a little less painful. So yeah, so that's what this is going to be for. Pretty cool. Overall, this project is going to cost like maybe $20, which is probably about as much as just buying. But it's more fun to do it. So we're going to map some keys to copy paste. We could program it to be a keyboard that just says like "Funk you!" exclamation point. Just does those. I decided last minute not to have a square because I think my niece and nephew sometimes watch this show, watch this stream, so it shouldn't. Let's see. Okay, so I really don't know how I'm gonna get this to be like really nicely square. Or maybe blocking it with something. Just have to try and tape it down really well. Gonna need more tape. It's nice and square before I tape it down. That's not gonna work. You know what I'll do is I'll put this across in a way that I can just get the couple each in. I'll just get the first few pins or pin on either side soldered in place, and then I'll remove the tape. That's all. Oh. Really bothers me when things aren't centered. Can't be doing that. Really curious like what the actual way of doing this is. So I'm just gonna get at least the end pins available. This is awful. Straight. It's pretty good. Fairly perpendicular. Hands. I'm just gonna try and hold this straight. I don't have enough hands, it's a problem. Clear. Tape. Yeah, that's pretty good. So that's enough for me to do some of these. So I'm going to take my Pro Micro out. Let's take it back into the chocolate bag. It's not really very good, so I'm not gonna like fuss with it too much. Student device. It's raised up. This can work on. Now I can really stop it. Trying to make sure to do these headers on here because I wasn't sure. I mean, the Pro micros that I'm buying are cheapest, and there are some complaints on there about some of them not working and being done in private. And so, but it's like if that's like any that you get. So I wanted to get something that would allow me to, if it was a bad chip, or if I wrecked it or something along those lines, I could just swap out a different chip. Yes. Feels pretty solid. These are looking pretty good. See holes or a little more solder on a couple of these. I don't like this song. I do like this song. Yeah, I think these are good. Yeah, that's cool. I know you got usually you tap out pretty close to this time at night, right? You have an early morning. When does your shift usually start? Thanks for joining. Always a pleasure to have you on. Yeah, happy enough with that. So, if I wanted to, I can plug this one in. I think I might just do that actually. Oh. Ta-da! The prettiest, but you know. So, what else could I be doing right now? I guess I could solder some keys on. Yeah. Using mostly to mix browns here. Ooh, I just put this. Four browns. You know, I bet my friend would be kind of interested in some of the keys sounding different. Key. So I've got two of this exact same sort. So I'm kind of planning on keeping them myself. So we have blues and smattering of browns. Now I'm not going to use these black bottom browns because they black bottom browns because they have a different kind of different as well. Blues have more of that square type, but it shouldn't matter. So I'm kind of thinking like these will be copy up here in this base for 4 different clipboards. So I'm going to start off with these browns. I might just stick to brown. So when the guy made this, he also made a 3D printed little guide that kept these in place while he soldered them. Seems clever. And keeps them nice and square. So I think I'm going to do 8 keys. I wanted to style button. If I wanted to, I could do another style button. I could put these. Oh, it looks like this isn't actually the right kind of style. This might fit. I could add these if I wanted to do that style. See. I'll add those later. I'll order them from you. So this is going to be more interesting. Dumping the keys down away from where I want them to be. And kind of line them up here with this tape. See. I don't know about you guys, but I really like painter's tape. It's so handy. So I'm gonna just line that better. Trying to take this down so that I can solder it. Definitely gonna have to research what other people do this kind of thing. You typically need to have these upside down. I don't know how to keep things in place or solder them, other than the haphazardly painting things. Gotta turn on the solder first. Keep. Camera, you can do it. These things being so shiny really confuse the heck out of this camera sound, of course. Just wait for the soldering iron to heat up. Boy, I'm like really impressed with this soldering iron setup. Really like it. So, and like my battery on my my DeWalt battery is doing great. Hardly used any power. Fast. Boy, these look really good. Sick. On to the next batch. So I did with my illustration here. It's great. It's a little sideways, but not much. I really did not know that I was going to be doing this project this far tonight. But kind of just like ran out of stuff within arm's reach to solder. Stuff was right here, so that's why we're doing this. It's on the to-do list anyway. Digging this on. Got some like industrial feels and some little dubsteppy maybe. There's not enough stuff that bridges that gap. Industrial and dubstep. I like this one so much, we're gonna thumbs up it. Cyberpunk by For Hopes. Good. I have enough blue switches. Brown switches by me to do the rest of it. Yeah. This looks nice. Am I getting there?
A glittering neon glow illuminates this street. Breathe in these human vapors, sweat and heavy.
I think this is what I'm gonna do. This would be more, I'm thinking like enter keys or something like that. I'm gonna decide if we should do this arrangement or the outside. I think this is better. This gives me a little more symmetry. All about that symmetry. Keep doing that. Or tip it forward. Forget that nothing is attached. Gosh darn it. Okay. Take it. Sorry, that's what I was worried about. The tape was too close. Yeah, it's really starting to look like a thing. I'm going to be using some of these blue switches because I think blue switches are they're kind of more fun than brown switches. So I want to have some of them in there. Friends, you'll get a kick out of it. So let me see. Yeah, super. Actually holding this brown one in too. So let's see if I can just be clever about my tape usage again. More tape. Yeah, this Ryan Bates guy, he could have definitely charged more. That's super cool to do that stuff. Just like want to make something cool and share it. I wouldn't be as good at that. But I didn't really creatively look into it. Probably means that I should do more of that myself. Oh shit. Okay, we're just gonna get these two down. These are nice. And then I'll try to do too much at once. Oh. So, let's see. Tuesday, gonna be playing more of the Long Dark. Gotta do in Long Dark playing. I've transitioned fully over to PC again. So I'm having a nice time with that. The graphics are just a lot better. It runs so much nicer. During last week's Thursday stream, I made a knife sheath. Which I'll make next week. Probably some handle holders for my cast iron pans. You need to do that project. Got sick of burning my hands on the pans. Good, that's okay. Very solidly on there. Oops. So the Shrine Baits has another version of this exact project, the larger scale. So larger board to give a little more space. Has more keys on it. I went with this smaller form factor one. You go with a larger one though. He has an STL file for STL files for the cases or the alignment board that he designed to make sure that these are aligned. And you can just pop them all on here and get the soldering done faster. So I'm thinking I might have to design this because if I have to do this again, it's a much less irritating way. See if Zenhaver's 3D printer is available for some machine work. It is. This is aligned right in here. It's kind of dark. Sounds kind of like Stardew Valley. Okay. That'd be it. Yeah, all right. That's not super squarely on there. Sideways, that's okay. There we go. So, that's some other buttons I can see for this reset button. I think that reset button is going to be one of the most important ones to have. And also mode here will swap out different keyboard shortcuts. So I need to get these two buttons for sure. This analog one, I don't think I need to do. That'd be good for like a volume control or something. But I think that's it for tonight. Start to focus. Thank you for joining me tonight. This was a lot of fun. I learned how to solder pretty well. Thank you for your advice, Chef Rex, on soldering. Value it greatly. I need a soldering tip cleaning brush. Let's do this stuff. I tested my new soldering iron, which I'm very pleased with. Great. Utilizing my portable power pack. Hardly used up any of that battery. So yeah, I think that's, we'll call that a night. Thank you everyone who joined, and hope you have a nice rest of your evening, and I'll see you all on Tuesday. Ooh, I should see if there's anyone post. No one who's streaming right now. Jeez. It'd be easier to look on my phone. Who else is streaming? Oh, cool. Chef Rex, I saw you just messaged earlier tonight. Apologize for missing that. Yeah, take care, man. Have a good night. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody else I know is streaming right now, so hope you all have a good night, and I'll see you on Tuesday.